Hey there, everybody. How's it going? I'm Brian Pickle, and we are finally back in Cities Skylines 2, diving back into some content in Pickleton. I feel like it's been a long time since we've been in the city. I think it's been a couple weeks now. And if you are only watching Cities Skylines 2 content, it's been a minute since we've had anything else on the channel. There has been, of course, a little bit of some Cities Skylines 1 content, but if you're not into any of that and you haven't watched that, that's totally fine. Take what you like and leave the rest. But we are back for some Pickleton. So as a little bit of a recap, since it has been a while, last time we were here, we built out some residential stuff. We kind of massively expanded out in these two kind of neighborhoods, I guess. Which if you want to name them, feel free as always to leave some comments and suggestions about what we would like to name these. I've just left them as what they come as. But, and we played around with a little bit of some modding tools, and I definitely want to take parking off of this street. So, anywho, back on track here. We have our little bit of our medium density one here, which is struggling a little bit with the land value stuff, and we have a little bit of that going on over here as well, but not an aggressive amount. So I'm okay with leaving it for now, and as we maybe detail up and things and build up the rest of this area, maybe it will sort of adjust itself and people will, go to school and get better jobs or whatever and kind of be able to afford the area that they live in. We'll see how it goes. Not sure what's going on over here with all this need for ambulances. Hopefully that does not become an issue. We'll see. Lots of icons going on here. I don't know if this is like a death wave or what. But, we're just gonna ignore it for now. And, sorry, there's just, like, so many things I need to clean up here really quick. Cool. Anyway, what we're gonna do today is move over into this space here. And what I have in mind for this is building a little bit of an education complex. We talked a little bit, I think, in the last episode that we were kind of starting to go into the red a little bit with some of these stuff. Of course, elementary is needed. High school is actually needed now, finally. And even a college. We could do with a college in this area. So, I thought this would be like a nice sort of auxiliary campus, I suppose, of our university over here. So we have the University of Pickleton, and I want to have like a community college district that is kind of like the sister school to this one. That's something that you kind of often see in university towns in real life. Like, where I went to college, we had a very close relationship with the local community college. So, like, a lot of the professors from the university also taught classes at the community college. So I thought that kind of vibe and that kind of idea we could extend into here. So that's what we're going to do today. And what I want to take a look at first, before we start plopping anything, is look at our terrain. So it's pretty flat in here, so I'm pretty good with that. And I think we should be able to get roads over this area just fine. Perfect. So that's a good thing, because we will probably want to have some connections going from side to side. And, they obviously, I'll make them look a little bit better than that. But it's good to know that the height is fine to be able to get over the railroad tracks. So let's take a look at what we have. I'm pretty much winging it on this one. I did not really do much pre-planning just because we've used a lot of these assets already. But so what I want to do is have the college, and I want to place it and see exactly what kind of additions it has. I don't think I did many of the additions on the other one, so we'll check it out. And we'll move it where I want it as we go. So let's just take a look at it here. And, we have the extension wing, and we have a college library. So I think, since we neglected to put it in the other one, I think I am going to have it on this one. And I think it would be nice if we sort of have it fronting this road. Or, I mean, like, as you drive down Hamilton Street here, you can kind of see the building. So I think if we back it kind of right up along here, or pretty damn close, I think I kind of like that idea. But I do want the front of the building, like where you actually enter, to be on this side. So let's go ahead and draw like a parallel road out about here. And then this will be kind of give us a guide as to where I want this to sit. So we'll go ahead and relocate it here. And for now, I'm just going to draw a road like this. As far as the final configuration of how everything will look, I mean it when I say that I'm winging it. We're going to kind of go free-for-all here and see kind of what we like as we go. So what I want to do now is turn this around, just relocate it and plop it back on this road. And then I can get rid of the road behind it. I don't actually want that there. That just gives us the space that I want to be between the building itself, the asset, and the road. And I will immediately place the college library. And I think kind of just along the back is kind of nice. I don't know. I have to be careful with this one because I can't move it once I've done it. So I can't decide if I want it to be right up against the back there. I feel like I don't like it right up along the road. But we can have it sort of off to the side here. I think I'm good with this. Right at the very edge. I think that looks really nice. And we can do a little bit of maybe more parking or something along this side to sort of facilitate the library itself. Since we have the money and stuff, I'm not really opposed to just adding the extension wing on. Not only does it obviously add more capacity, but it makes the building look a little bit more impressive. Excuse the bit of doom and gloom here. It's a little dark. Nice snowy weather here for the winter. And then just for the time being, I think I'm going to go ahead and connect this road up so that this building functions. Now, what I would like to do is have some sort of plaza kind of in the center here. And I know the perfect asset that I want to have for it. And it will kind of connect the three main assets that we're going to use today, which is the college, the high school, and the elementary school. And that is in our Parks and Recreation. And I think it's one of the landmarks. Yeah, I want this, I'm pretty sure, just double check. It is the Fountain Plaza. So I would kind of like this to be relatively in a central location to the other three, to all three assets. So what I'd like to do is why don't we just draw a road out straight from the center of the university, or the college. And we'll just go ahead where these line up. I think that'll be fine. And let's go grab that building again. And I think it's not going to let me place it at the edge of that right now. I think if we make a circle, we can probably get this in. Okay, and now that we have it placed, I might be able to kind of finagle this a little bit better and get it as close as we can to this area. And actually, you know what? A pedestrian road might not be a bad shout right here. So let's see if we can grab this. Of course, it's not going to let me here. Why don't I go ahead and move this just a smidge. Turn off all the snapping. Just get a little bit further away. And then we might be able to work with something here. I think that looks like it's actually connected now. So I think what we should be able to do, hopefully this lets me do this, if I turn off maybe all of the snapping, except for angle. What I would like to do is get these all connected. There we go. So it might not look the prettiest, but as long as we can get a connection in there, I'm okay with it. There we go. And the same thing on this side. It actually lets me go closer than I would expect. Very nice. So I think that will look perfect. And then we can do like a nice little plaza space around this. So let's go ahead and see how much distance this was to here. So if I just delete this road, I'm just going to have to redraw it to make sure that we get the right spacing on that, since it's on a circle. So come out right from the middle and 90 degrees. It was 115 meters. So we'll try to do the same thing kind of at each of these corners. So if we can get, I think if I turn off snap to zoning cell length, I can get right in the center. And turn that back on. And we'll go out 115 meters.
A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions. Please exercise caution if you must drive and try to stay off the streets until conditions improve. This has been a local public service announcement.
You're listening to Second Moon, the epitome of classic.
Okay, so that was 115 meters, it looks like. So we'll work with that. And now what I want to do is get the next biggest one in. So that should be the high school is pretty big. So we're going to want that next. And I think it should fit over here just fine. And what I would really like to do as well is see if we can get the sports field next to it as well. I know it's like not in the center, but we'll see what we can do here. Let's grab the sports field. And it does not quite fit because of the roads. So let's see. If we move this, actually, why don't we try to center it? Just how, oops, that's not centered at all. Let's try that one more time. What's happening here? I'm struggling today. This is what happens when you wing it, guys. Which you probably know because you probably play that way. Okay, so it's not quite centered how I would like it. If we can just toggle off all the snapping. Turn off the overview as well, the overlay. There we go. Now that is centered. Now, hopefully, can we get this over here? No, it's still in the way of the train. So I think what we're going to have to do is it's going to have to be uncentered. So, and we'll have to overlap it with this a little bit. Something like this. And then we should be able to get it kind of right on the side here. Oh, now it's too far on that side. Trial and error, everybody. Trial and error. Let's try just a little bit there. I think we can get it. There we go. And that'll give like a nice, I feel like that's a nice thing to drive by, kind of around this curve here. I like that. I'm happy with that. I think we're good here. So this also leaves a great place to put like kind of a path through here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's turn all of our snapping back on. Get it right along the side. And it actually wouldn't be a bad idea either to see if we can get a little bit of a bridge going across. So if we go out to here, let's see if we can turn our elevation step all the way down. And I think we need 7.5. It might be a little bit more for walking paths, so we'll see. Plus 11% is kind of a steep grade. So we'll go... I mean, they're walking, so that's nice. But that is going to be quite the thigh burner. But I think we should be able to get it to work. So we'll bring it all the way back down to the ground. And we have a nice little bridge. Maybe we can even up... Oh, that's like so crooked. Sorry about that. Let's fix that. And then let's see if we can actually... Can we just upgrade this to one of these? Or do I want this one? I think if we want to have the bridge, we're going to have to, like, draw it in ourselves. So let's get rid of these guys. I could do this in a detailing time-lapse, but I would like to get this kind of working. This is also crooked, isn't it? What was I doing? Okay. We might just want to do the covered one instead. Just because it's going to be the most... It's going to look the best as far as, like, centralization. The other ones are just not going to... They're not going to center properly, so better to just not even bother with it. So bring these back down to earth, and now people can kind of cross over from one side to the other a little bit nicer. That way they don't have to, like, clog up any of the roads and all that stuff. So let's get that connected. And then we'll just go ahead and quickly get rid of our crosswalk there. We don't need two crosswalks. There we go. So now people should be able to get over from here and to like this neighborhood to over here just fine. And then the last thing that we really need to place to kind of round the area out nicely is the elementary school. And luckily it's significantly smaller. So I think if we get... First of all, let me go ahead and upgrade this road back to a pedestrian road. Ooh, I want the snapping on because I want to keep it exactly where it is. Cool. And then we'll do the same thing from about here. Try to get in the center. And we'll do 100. Well, let's turn off snap to zoning cell length. We can get our nice exact measurements. And 115 meters. Oh gosh, it went crooked at me right at the end. All right, one more time. Okay, sorry about that. 115 meters, 90-degree angles. Beautiful. And then, so we can do, actually, this will be perfect. So we'll draw out a road here at 90 degrees. Let's turn all of our snapping back on, just so that things kind of connect exactly how I want them to. Here we go. And over here. And then we'll go ahead into our buildings here and grab the elementary school. And it's also going to be not perfectly centered, but I'm okay with that. And then we can go ahead and throw on the upgrades for everything. So we'll go ahead and add the school library to the high school. Did it go? There it goes. And then the extension wing. We already have the sports field, obviously. And then over here, of course, we're going to want the extension wing immediately. We're actually going to need that. And then I think I want the park on the side. Well, actually, can I get this back there? I can't. So the clinic is going to have to go on this side. And the park is going to have to go... Can I have it right next to that? I think I like that. And then actually what would be really nice is to have another little bit of a path go right up to here. And then they can get like directly into the playground. It doesn't have to be a part of the school. I like that. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Maybe we can have this connect around here too, and kind of around the back. Close it all in. We'll do some of our own little decorations and things going on here. This is a little bit bumpier than I planned, but it's okay. We'll make it all work. It'll all be fine. Look, it's already almost full, so perfect. Now what we need to do is, I feel like we just want to naturally connect this back up to the main road here. So we'll just draw it all the way out at 180 degrees, and we'll keep it like that. And then, for symmetry's sake, we can also add another road out here and try to get our 115 meters out again. Let's turn off the snap to zoning cell length. That should help us out. Off with that. Off with guidelines. 90 degrees, 115. And we can draw another road out here. Let's turn all of our snapping back on. It's gonna line up a little bit weird. I think I'm happy to draw out 90 degrees there and then connect it up to here at 90 degrees. And then we'll just use a little bit of a curved road to get into there. Just to avoid any wonkiness. And I'm pretty happy with that. And so now that we have the buildings set up kind of where we'd like, I think the next logical step is to throw in a little bit of parking to help facilitate this area. So one thing we definitely want to do is try to squeeze a medium parking lot in here. And if I'm not mistaken, it should fit in there absolutely perfectly, kind of just how I said, along with the library. And I think that is perfect. We can do some like detailing and decorating around that. I think what we'll want to do is get a path through here. Oh, that one's already there. So we'll go ahead, actually, how about we do this? Turn off all of our snapping. See if we can get right up next to it. What we can do is get a tiny, I know we can get a tiny path here. Just like that. Perfect. And I'm pretty good with that. Actually, you know what? I lied. That looks terrible. What we can do is move the parking lot just a touch back from the road. So if we turn off the snapping and we get it just a little ways off the road, we can get the concrete to extend from both of them, I think. Maybe if we just get it right up against it. Perfect. So I was hoping that the concrete would extend from the college asset itself, but this works just fine. So we have this coming right off of here. And what I'd like to do is try to get a little path connected to this guy here. No, it doesn't want to connect to there, so that's okay. Not ideal, but it's fine. So we've got a little bit of parking there, and I feel like, again, that like kind of extends mostly to that area. And we'll want to do a little bit more parking for the high school as well. So if we go into here and get our alleyway roads, I think this will be nice to come off of here. And then we'll place a nice big one here. So let's go ahead get their 90 degrees out. And we'll do I think the very large is too big. So we'll do a large parking lot. We'll turn our snapping back on so we can get it onto Franklin Road. There we go. That way it doesn't like clog up this street either, and people can just go ahead and drive over that way. And we'll box it in. So let's grab our alleyway roads again and close it off. And delete our little nub road there. Perfect. I like that. This is probably just fine. I think maybe we can get a small one over in this area. Small parking lot. Almost. It can almost go in there. Let's see. But we can have it on this side for sure. So we'll go ahead and throw that there. And then we'll probably want a very large parking lot over on this side. So we'll do the same thing and try to get it to go from this road out here. And let's go ahead and grab that parking lot. Will it fit right in here? Perfect. Love that. That is beautiful right there. I like that. And hopefully, can we even get the alleyway road to go right back here? Because that would be exceptionally well. Like this would just make my life if this went in here. Beautiful. I don't know what's happening there. We'll fix that. It should go just fine. There we are. And close it in. Not really sure why the 90 degrees won't work, but there we are. And we can take off the little nub there. And we have this nice big parking lot. And the only thing I want to do is switch the direction around. So it goes that way. Perfect. And I think, hopefully we can get a little path or something. These paths are finicky. Sometimes they connect, sometimes they do not. But that's all right. We'll work on that in the detailing time lapse if I am not happy with how that's working. We're still having some issues with ambulances and healthcare going on. We've got a traffic accident. Do we have enough coverage for that? I feel like we should. I guess it seems to be lacking in the downtown, which honestly baffles me because there's a hospital. All right, so a couple of those things cleared up. Now what we want to do here is I'm thinking a little bit of like maybe some goodness, high density but low rent. So let's go ahead. I say go ahead so many times, I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and draw that in there. And we'll create a little bit of a complex here, I think. For some low rent housing. So I think because of its proximity to the college, it should be pretty good to be low rent here. And I want to be very specific about the sizes that we get in here. So what I'm going to do is just keep them pretty small, even smaller than that. Let's do 3x2s. We'll just have like a block of them here. And if I can readjust some of the zoning over here so we can get these back to back, that would be perfect. And other than that, other than kind of detailing and putting in some parks, that is the essence of the build here today. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and jump into a little bit of a detailing time lapse. I have added a couple more mods for like extra landscaping tools and things like that. I don't know how much exactly I'm going to use them. I haven't played around with them quite yet. So I think for this build, we're sticking to things like find stuff. And I think that was really mostly the only thing. And the line tool. I think those were the basic most mods that I've been using. So we're going to stick with that. And I'm going to jump into a detailing time lapse and I'll show you the finished product when it's all done. right, so let's go ahead and take a look at what we did. So I left this area pretty simple in the sense of like I have just a little bit of some tree brush stuff going on, and then a lot of like bush lining to go along with these really simple little windy paths. And I thought it would be kind of fun to play around with a little bit more of the Find Stuff mod. And so I have these little gazebo areas in here, which I think are really cute. I just love all the little prop assets that we finally have access to now, so that I can make little areas like this. And I kind of really love the whole symmetry of the idea of having them kind of, like one gazebo here in this corner and then in that corner. And then on these corners, a nice just tree in the middle. So I have our little complex over here with some residences going on. So I have this idea is like essentially student housing kind of to go along with maybe the college and even supplementary to the university, which we already have a little bit of like, quote unquote student housing over there as well. But just to add like a little bit more to this area and satisfy a little bit of residential demand, we still have, tons of everything. So we kind of have freedom, like an immense amount of freedom to kind of zone whatever we want, because we do have that demand for literally everything. So, and then I, made some nice little parks around here, gave these people a lot of amenities. Hopefully that won't cause too many issues with like any rent problems and stuff. It seems to be doing okay right now. No warnings and stuff yet. So hopefully it stays that way. I've actually had pretty good success with the low rent housing. I know a lot of people were struggling with it, especially when the game originally came out, like fresh. So I'm glad to see that we haven't had any issues with our low rent housing yet. So very good there. And then I just zoned up a little bit more of this kind of like main street, or, kind of a little bit of a strode going through here with some commercial and office buildings and stuff. And we're kind of slowly going back out of that high density that we had coming in here. That higher density. I guess it's more medium density, I suppose. But kind of filtering that out and getting lower and lower. We have some of these little high rises and then a lot of row housing. And I just added a park maintenance depot as well to give the area, since we have so many parks going through here, a little bit of access to that maintenance, because the only other one that we have is now in the downtown and then all the way over back here where we originally started the city. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to have another one out here to service this area. I haven't put the district over top of it. I'll do that after. But if you want to name this kind of little school complex, feel free to drop your suggestions in the comments below as usual, and we'll name it in the next episode along with these two. So I think those are the only 3 areas that haven't been named yet. It looks like maybe this industrial complex as well has not been named. So 4 names total. Feel free to leave some suggestions in the comments. And I'm really, really pleased with the results. I think it looks really neat from above and kind of fills up this space without having everything so compact and zoned all the way up in every tiny little corner. I like leaving a little bit more empty space. I think it kind of adds a little bit something, and we don't want, I don't want anyway, zoning taking up every single, spot on the map. And that just about wraps things up. The only thing that I'll say before we head out and I leave you with, the traditional cinematics to enjoy of this new area, is that we finally have a DLC announcement. So the first DLC, a content creator pack, I believe, is coming out on Monday following this video. So this will be out on Thursday. The following Monday, March 25th, the Beach Assets Properties kind of DLC comes out. So this is just a good time to remind everybody that I also have an instant gaming link, which I will leave in the description below, where you can buy cheap games and also support the channel at the same time. I don't know that the DLC itself is specifically on there quite yet, but I know that the Ultimate Edition is. If you haven't gotten Cities Skylines 2 quite yet, you've been holding out, feel free to use that link to get kind of a deal on the game. And also at the time of recording this, there is a Steam sale through Paradox, but I don't know that it'll still be available when the video comes out. But otherwise, that is going to do it. So if you liked this video, please feel free to leave a like below. Let me know what you enjoyed about it in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed already and you've enjoyed this video and want to see more of the city and want to see more Cities Skylines 2 content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you here. And speaking of I do have a Discord community as well that is thriving and growing. So if you would like to come and hang out with some other like-minded people who enjoy Cities Skylines and just an array of other games and nerdy stuff, Feel free to check out the Discord. I will leave that linked in the description below as well. Otherwise, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.